What if I told you that one decision you make in the next few years could determine whether your retirement feels secure or stressful? I'm talking about something called a Roth IRA conversion. And if you're retired or getting close to it, this is not just a technical strategy. This is about control. Control over your taxes, your income, and frankly, your peace of mind. Now, let's start with the truth. Most people don't even understand what a Roth IRA conversion is. And because they don't understand it, they either ignore it or they do it wrong. So let me break it down for you in a way that actually matters to your life. A Roth IRA conversion is when you take money from a traditional retirement account, like a traditional IRA or a 401k, and you move it into a Roth IRA. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch. You have to pay taxes on that money when you convert it. And that's where people panic. They think, why would I willingly pay taxes now when I could just leave the money where it is? That's the wrong question. The right question is, would you rather pay taxes now or later when you might owe even more? Because here's what most retirees don't fully grasp when your money is sitting in a traditional IRA. It has not been taxed yet. Every dollar in there belongs partly to you and partly to the government. And the government will get its share. Not maybe, not someday. It's guaranteed. When you reach a certain age, you are forced to start taking money out. Those are called required minimum distributions. And every dollar you take out is taxed as ordinary income. Now, let me ask you something. Do you really believe taxes are going down in the future? Look at the world we're living in. Look at government spending. Look at debt. If anything, the risk is that tax rates will be higher, not lower. So when you do a Roth conversion, what you are really doing is saying, I am choosing to pay taxes today on my terms so that I don't have to worry about taxes tomorrow. Because once your money is in a Roth IRA, it grows tax-free. And when you take it out later, it's tax-free. No required minimum distributions, no surprises, no ticking tax bomb. Now, here's where it gets personal, because a Roth conversion is not for everyone. And I don't want you thinking this is some magic strategy that automatically makes sense. You have to look at your situation. Let's talk about the fear first. The biggest fear people have is writing that tax check. They see the amount they'd have to pay and they freeze. I get it. Nobody likes paying taxes. But sometimes paying taxes now is actually the smartest financial move you can make. Think of it like this. If you convert $50,000 today and pay taxes at, let's say, 20%, you pay $10,000 in taxes. Painful, yes. But what if that same $50,000 grows to $100,000 over time, and now you're forced to withdraw it at a higher tax rate, maybe 25% or more? Now you're paying $25,000 in taxes instead of $10,000. That's the game. It's not about avoiding taxes. It's about managing when and how much you pay. Now, let's talk about 2026 specifically. Why does timing matter so much right now? Because tax laws are not static. The current tax rates that we're living under are scheduled to change, and if nothing is done, tax brackets could go higher after the current rules expire. That means the window you have right now, these next couple of years, could be one of the best opportunities to do a Roth conversion at relatively lower tax rates. This is what I call a planning window. And Most people miss it because they're either unaware or they're procrastinating. Let me tell you something. In retirement planning, procrastination is expensive. Now, I want to walk you through who should seriously consider doing a Roth conversion. If you are in a lower income year, maybe you just retired and haven't started taking Social Security yet, that's a golden opportunity. Your income is lower, which means your tax rate is lower. That is the perfect time to convert. If you have a large traditional IRA and you know that required minimum distributions are going to push you into a higher tax bracket later, that's another strong case. If you want to leave money to your children or your heirs, a Roth IRA is incredibly powerful because they can inherit that money and take it out tax-free. But if you leave them a traditional IRA, they inherit the tax burden too. Now, let's be very clear about who should not rush into a Roth conversion. If you don't have cash outside your retirement accounts to pay the taxes, you need to pause because using your retirement funds to pay the tax bill defeats the purpose. If you're already in a high tax bracket, converting a large amount all at once could push you into an even higher bracket. That's not smart. This is not about going all in. This is about being strategic. Sometimes the best move is to do partial conversions over several years. You fill up your current tax bracket without spilling into the next one. That's how you do this right. Now, I want you to think about something deeper than just numbers. Retirement is not just about having enough money, it's about having certainty. It's about waking up and knowing that your income is stable, your taxes are predictable, and you are not at the mercy of future policy changes. A Roth IRA gives you that kind of certainty because once that money is in there, it's yours, completely yours. No future tax hikes can touch it. No required withdrawals can force your hand. And that level of control, that's freedom. But here's the part that most people don't want to hear. A Roth conversion requires you to make a decision today that benefits your future self. And human nature doesn't like that. We want to delay discomfort. We want to avoid writing that tax check. We tell ourselves, I'll deal with it later. But later is where the problems show up. Later is when required distributions kick in. Later is when your tax bracket might be higher. Later is when you have fewer options. So the real question is not just should you do a Roth conversion in 2026. The real question is, are you willing to take control now, or are you going to leave it up to chance? Because doing nothing is still a decision. And in many cases, it's the most expensive one. Now, let me give you a very simple way to think about your next step. You don't need to convert everything. You don't need to make a massive move overnight. Start by looking at your current tax bracket. Ask yourself, how much room do I have before I hit the next bracket? That gap, that space is your opportunity. You can convert just enough to fill that bracket without going over. And you can do that year after year. That's how you gradually move money into a tax-free environment without creating a tax shock. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being intentional. And one more thing, this is important. Don't do this in isolation. Tax strategies are complex. They interact with your Social Security, your Medicare premiums, your overall income. One wrong move can trigger higher costs in other areas. So you need to look at the full picture, but don't let complexity scare you into inaction. Because at the end of the day, the concept is simple. Pay taxes now at a known rate or risk paying more later at an unknown rate. That's it. So if you are approaching retirement or you're already there, I want you to take this seriously. This is not some advanced strategy for the wealthy. This is a practical tool for anyone who wants more control over their financial future. And control is everything. Because when you have control, you have options. And when you have options, you have peace of mind. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Look at your numbers, understand your tax bracket, and start thinking about whether a Roth conversion fits into your plan. Because the decisions you make now will determine how comfortable, how secure, and how free you feel in the years ahead.